and welcome to my channel. I'm Kim Jimenez, your digital marketing strategist, and in this episode, we're answering questions from you, the community. Hey guys, welcome to my channel. If you're new around here, thank you so much for watching. Definitely consider subscribing if you want to check out videos all about digital marketing and growing your business with online media or online content. I'm so excited to be here with you, especially because this is the first Q&A we've done in like years on the channel. I'm so excited to be answering so many of your questions. So a couple of days ago, I think it was last week, I posted a video here on the channel asking you if you had any questions that you would like me to answer. And so many of you submitted questions, which were awesome questions. Like they were, you know, very like well thought out questions. And I'm so impressed by that. So excited. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through and like rapid fire style answer those questions. So before we get started, just know that we are actually going to be splitting this video into two because there's so many questions. We'd be here for like 40 minutes. So I want to make sure that I keep this as concise as possible. So we're going to go ahead and answer those questions in two parts. So if you don't see your question being answered in the first part of the video, then check out the second one for sure. I'm going to be linking to all of that in the YouTube cards and in the description down below. So let's get started. Without further ado, the first question I have here, and I'm going to be reading from my nifty little iPad here. First question comes from Enter a Name Here. And Enter a Name Here asks, hey Kimberly, what tool do you use to edit your videos? Also, can you suggest a good camera to do interviews with? So awesome question. Enter your name here. By the way, super clever channel name. When it comes to editing videos, I've used tons of tools over the past couple of years, and the one that I'm using right now and loving is called Filmora. Love Filmora, they're amazing. And if you're just getting started with YouTube videos or any videos in general, and you want a set of solid tools, Filmora, in my opinion, is the way to go. They're only about $30 a year, which is a really low price point just to get started. And the tools are super intuitive and really easy to kind of understand. So if you have been doing videos for a while, it's possible that you need something a little bit more advanced. In that case, I would recommend using something like Final Cut Pro if you're on a Mac, or Premiere, Adobe Premiere if you are Premiere Pro is the real name, if you're on a PC like I'm at. So those are three awesome options. Of course, the price range is going to increase significantly when you're using more advanced tools like Final Cut Pro or Premiere Pro, but I highly recommend if you're just getting started, checking out Filmora. It's how we edit all the videos that you see on the channel. But initially, I didn't even have anything like that. I started sending my videos to my brother and he would edit them in iMovie. And sometimes iMovie is all you need. Truly the best editor is the one that you have right now. Don't get too caught up in the software, but know that those are my recommendations. If you do want to get into a little bit more of like advanced features, I definitely recommend using Filmora, especially because it's designed for YouTubers, which is really awesome. And then the second part of your question was what type of camera I recommend for interviews. And this really comes down to different factors, really. Like, are you going to be hosting the interviews live, like in-person interviews, or are they going to be shot, on the internet? Maybe you are recording something like a Google Hangout, or maybe you are having an interviewee over on Facebook Live. It just really depends on how you're recording these interviews. If you're doing them online, I highly recommend this Logitech C920, and I'm going to be linking to all of the resources that I mentioned in the description below, so just keep that in mind. But this little guy is amazing. It's a webcam, however, it does shoot in 1080p, which is HD, and that's awesome. I love it. I've been using this for years to record videos like the one you're seeing right now, but also to record interviews or to show up in interviews as well. Like if someone's interviewing me, this is what I'm using. Love this camera. It's about $50 to $60 on Amazon, depending on when you buy it. Highly recommend it. All right, so the next question comes from Beta Zug, and he asks, or she asks, just a quick question. Is it possible to make enough money to work from home? Thanks. Awesome question. It absolutely is possible. I've been working from home for 4 years, ever since I launched my business. My husband works from home as well, and I teach entrepreneurs who work from home inside the business lounge. It's absolutely possible, but my recommendation would be to go about it as a real, legitimate business. You know, there's a ton of scams out there and like hoaxes about working online and, you know, making money in the like really quick and easy way. That's just not sustainable, and it's not something I recommend. If you're going to be wanting to work from home, I would highly recommend starting a real legitimate business. And you can start with something as simple as drop shipping, right? Or Amazon's FBA program, or you could start with affiliate marketing, something that's very, very simple, but then shift into creating your own products, programs, and services, because that's really how you start leveraging the internet to make a full-time income. So I have a 6-figure income online, and I do it in legitimate and authentic ways. And I've been working from home for 4 years, just working for myself. So those are some awesome options. You can also start freelancing, etc. Just think about ideas outside the box and utilize the resources in this channel to help you start building those skills if you are wanting to go freelance and maybe start a photography business or a videography business. Really just think about what skills you have that you can put to work, and focus on building a business online so that you're location independent, you have the freedom of being your own boss and doing your own thing. So I hope that helps. The next question comes from Carlos L, and he asks, do you speak Spanish? Claro que sí. Definitivamente. Yo soy de Puerto Rico, which means I'm from Puerto Rico. And yeah, English is not my first language. It's actually my second language. Spanish is my first language. I'm Boricua de pura cepa, which means I'm from Puerto Rico, and I'm very proud of it. So that's the answer to that question. This next question comes from Edward Ornelas, and he asks, how old were you when you started this entrepreneurial venture? Did you go to college? And what motivates you to keep going during the downfalls or a dark time? So great questions, Edward. When I started my business, I was 22, about to turn 23, I believe. And that's how old I was. I did go to college. I actually went, my degree was supposed to be in nutrition and dietetics, but I never finished college. I dropped out my last semester in school with literally like less than 10 credits to finish my degree. So I'm definitely thinking about finishing that because I worked really hard to get there, but I had an opportunity come up and I took it in social media marketing in corporate. And so I dropped out of school, pursued that, and now I have my own business. But yes, I guess technically I did go to college. I finished, I was on my 5th year, but I never actually graduated. So that hopefully answers that question. And then what keeps me motivated when things are just not going right, like when I'm going through a dark time, and there have been a lot of those, by the way, are 2 basic things. Number 1 is definitely my faith. I am a Christian, and I'm a proud Christian, and I can't really imagine going through all the ups and downs of entrepreneurship without like having my faith. Just the notion that I can literally talk to God and know that He has my back no matter what, whether I'm going through a really tough time or things are going great, is incredibly not just, I shouldn't say gratifying, it's more like I feel really at peace about, you know, the dark times, and it makes me feel like, you know, He's got my back even if I'm going through a really, really dark period, and I'm wondering, you know, how the heck I'm going to be able to get out of it. God always gives me not just the strength, but also the people and the opportunities and the resources to pick myself back up and move forward no matter what. And I've seen that in my life over and over and over again, you know, coming from a different country and living in the US, not really understanding the culture, not having a job, not knowing how I was going to pay for school. There were so many days where I thought, I can't do this anymore. And then furthermore, going into entrepreneurship, which is just a whole nother set of challenges, it's really hard to start a business, as I'm sure most of you know. So God definitely has brought me through a lot of trials and tribulations, and continues to continually give me that strength to keep moving forward. And that's just that makes a huge difference. So that's the first thing. And then the second one is really understanding, but connecting back with my why. And I talk about this a lot in this channel because it's so important. If you haven't watched my previous video, it's all about, what to do when success is taking too long. And one of those kind of action items or steps that I talked about was just being able to connect with your why and really connect with that on a daily basis and know, why you're even doing this. For me, my why is being able to help other people launch their dreams into the world. And I've been able to do that with a lot of success the past 4 years, and I've kept a lot of the letters and the emails and the messages that people have sent me about how I've been able to impact their lives. And just connecting with that why and knowing that I'm doing this for people like you who want to launch their dreams into the world makes a huge difference. And you can, when you're going through something, you can change that focus onto why you're doing it. And when that why has anything to do with other people, it makes it a lot easier. So I always encourage you to never start a business for the money, because it's really, really hard to go through the ups and downs of entrepreneurship and only do it for the money. I mean, you can get a great job in corporate America, make 6 figures, and live comfortably, right? That's not why you should do anything related to entrepreneurship or business. It's very risky, it's very hard. And if you don't have a solid why and you don't reconnect with that why on a daily basis, it's gonna be really hard to get through those obstacles and through those challenges that will inevitably come your way. So that's the answer to your question. Thank you for asking. All right, this next question comes from Vegan Brown Girl, and she asks, what tools have helped you stay on track for your goals in the beginning of your journey? Such a good question. So for me, it was really just getting super hyper organized. And I know that I've said this so many times on my channel, but I truly do mean it. Taking account for everything that you do on a daily basis is so important. So one of the things that I jumped on really early on was a project management tool. And I use Trello, but there's so many out there. You can use whichever one works for you. And so getting organized and really figuring out what my goals were and working towards those goals was essential. So having that tool and being able to say, okay, these are my to-dos for this week, these are my goals for this week, these are my goals for this month, and these are my goals for this quarter, and keeping track of that on a daily basis really helped. So now when I jump on my computer every morning, one of the first things that I do is look at my Trello board and figure out what is it that I'm going to be working on or towards today. So that really, really helped me, just being really organized and making sure that I had a plan in place. Now, another thing that really helped was just being around entrepreneurs and just really diving into the community aspect of entrepreneurship. It can feel really lonely, right, to not actually have people around you who understand what you're going through and what you're trying to build in the world. And so you can do this in 2 ways. Either in person, go to, start going to networking events, check out some of your local Chamber of Commerce events. Those are great. Try hanging out with people and something like a coffee meetup. Check out what events in your area you can go to and start meeting people. The other thing you can do is join a community online. So a lot of you know that we have a private group. It's a mastermind group that you can join, and it's free, and you can connect with other entrepreneurs there. You can share your challenges, share your wins, and just have that community element of other people working towards their goals. That alone is going to motivate you to stay on track and reach that next milestone in your business, especially when you're just getting started. All right, and so this last question for the first round, or the first part of this video, comes from Toyin Ellie, and I'm so sorry if I misspelled your name, Toyin, but I loved your question. So she asks, I think the homepage of my website is a bit too crowded with too many calls to action. Do you have any advice on the top items to have on your homepage? So great question. Because I know that you have an online business, one of the first things, or really the main focus of your homepage, should be to get people on your email list. So I would put your lead magnets front and center, right? So get that lead magnet in there, whether it's a masterclass or a cheat sheet or some kind of download. Make sure that you're building that relationship and adding value to new visitors from the get-go. So your homepage is one of the pages that's going to get the most amount of traffic, and you want to leverage it as much as possible. So focusing on that lead magnet is really important. And then the second thing that I would do is content. So if you have a blog, if you have a video channel like we do, if you have a podcast, make sure that people immediately know where they can get more value from you. And so because I know, again, that your business model is selling online courses and doing consulting, it's really important that you add value to people up front, right? And share that knowledge and that know-how. So definitely those two things should be front and center in your homepage. Everything else is an add-on, and I would almost recommend to remove any of the distractions that your homepage might have. I wouldn't use it to feature your products or programs yet, because again, people are just getting to know you, and because this is an online business, they need to build that trust factor with you. So one of the first things I do on my homepage is I have a lead magnet, and then I send people right to my blog. So just something to keep in mind. All right, guys, so thank you so much for watching this episode. We've reached the end of part 1, but don't forget part 2 is coming very soon. I'm gonna be linking to it if it's already been released, so make sure to either keep an eye out on that or watch part 2 of this series. But now it's time for you to interact. What questions do you have that you might want featured in upcoming Q&A episodes? Let me know in the comments section below. I would love to hear from you. This is your opportunity to get your questions answered directly by me and really just start moving forward with your online business in general. So I'd love to hear from you. Again, use that comment section, and I will see you in the next episode. Thank you so much for watching, and bye for now.